Then I can hit the record. Okay. All right. So we're good to go. So today we have Sarah with us, and she'll be taking us on partnership. So just briefly, Sarah, you introduce yourself, tell us about yourself, and then Narine will go ahead and introduce the women. So I think we're good to go. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much, Barbara, and I'm very pleased to be here. My name is Sarah Kieti. I live and work in Nairobi, Kenya. I am married to Philip, and both between us we have two boys, 5 years old and 14 months old. I am a businesswoman. I am in the water business.
Sarah, I think you muted yourself.
No, someone muted me actually because I'm a bit far from my mouse. So I don't know at what point you lost me.
Yeah, sure.
So I am a businesswoman together with my husband. We run a thriving insurance agency. I'm also in the agribusiness space, mostly in consultancy, but also doing primary farming. And I just recently got into the water business. Very complicated right now in Kenya, but by the grace of God, we are compliant, and we just began production a few weeks ago. I am also a full-time employee, working for a Danish company where I lead business development initiatives for the company across 7 countries, and Zambia being one of them. And I sit in Nairobi in terms of work. And so that's just about me. I'm a born-again Christian, a practicing believer, loving God, loving Jesus, and I don't know any other way to go about it except through Christ. So that's just a bit about myself, and I'm happy to answer any questions as we go on. Back to Barbara.
I think Barbara has a problem. Okay, I'll go ahead and...
I can introduce myself. You're probably wondering why I'm sitting here. So I'm a new member of the board in Join the Journey. So I'm only here to listen to you guys, understand better what we are doing. So that is only reason why I'm here. Okay.
Nice to meet you, Martin.
Nice to meet you all.
Yep.
Nice to meet you too. Okay, so right here, I'm Narine Sakala. I'm the regional coach for SPAC. So I'm here with the women. We're supposed to be 5, but we're going to have 2, and the third one will be joining us soon. 2, the other one has a sick mother, and the other one has gone for a funeral. So right here I have Hilda Palusa and Tia. So these are the business women today we're having. Hilda is into tailoring and knitting, and then Tia does sells charcoal in charcoal business. So these are the women that we have today. And then we're going to have the one who will be joining us is Felicitas, who is into a mobile money business. Yeah, so these are the women we are having today, so we can go ahead and
Barbara, I'll be guided by you in terms of next steps.
Okay, so we can just start. You can explain, since the topic is partnership. So you'll be explaining, and then you pause a bit to give me a chance to interpret for them in our local language. Yeah. So we can go ahead, we can start.
So thank you. When I got this opportunity to share about partnerships, I got excited because partnerships is what I do. From a work perspective, from my business perspective, and I consider partnerships to be very critical for any business, small or big, because there are many benefits of having a partnership, and probably I'll just touch on a few. And then I thought probably we can I can hear more about their businesses, so that if I have to anticipate any questions, then I know what kind of businesses they are in and what level of business. Are they at the bottom of the pyramid, like just buying stock and selling to people, or are they a small medium company, either registered already or not registered? So that's a background I didn't have in terms of the kind of cohort that you have, and probably with that understanding, probably I would have prepared better. But for me, partnership is nothing to prepare about, because that's what I do every day. And I can just take you probably through why we need partnerships. And the first reason why we need partnerships is to reduce cost, cost of doing business, because with a partner, you share profit and you share risks in terms of engagement, and depending on what kind of partnership you're getting into. Sometimes you also get into partnership to increase market access. And I can give an example in terms of, I have a business in Kenya, but I would want to reach the East Africa community. How do I get there? A partnership would get me faster than me building a very expensive distribution channel into the EAC, for example. We get into partnership to create security of our raw materials in terms of the raw materials that we are using, the source of the raw materials, because the partnership, sometimes some raw materials are seasonal, for example. So if your raw material is maize, for example, and you find that some countries or some regions have 2 seasons for growing maize and others have 1 season of growing maize, a partnership would really ensure that you don't run out of raw materials when you're in a partnership, because that partnership has to be strategic enough to allow you to leverage on your low season, you leverage on the high season with your partner, depending on what raw materials you are dealing with. Other times we get into partnerships to improve the quality of supply. And quality, it means probably you're getting into a partnership with a partner who has superior machinery than you have in terms of production, and you're looking at getting into that space so that you can improve on your quality or the output of your quality. And other times you get into partnerships because it's a compliance requirement, say with environmental regulations, say with government regulations. We have seen government regulations that have meant a small company would really struggle to thrive in an environment where there are stringent compliance requirements. And so a partnership can come in and ease off that compliance process, in terms of you can partner with a company that either is already compliant or a company that has the muscle in terms of monetary and legal muscle to get compliant in terms of government compliance and environmental compliance. We also get into partnerships to get closer to government. sometimes as a small business person, you really can't penetrate the government in certain sectors unless you're in a partnership that either is known by the government or sells to the government a lot. And again, we get into partnerships for branding benefit. And this one I can give an example in terms of, and probably out of small business, like the audit firms. I have had the privilege of working with at least now 2 audit firms, and sometimes you find a local company based in Kenya or in Africa does not have the muscle to really interact with a big to service big clients because they don't have the right network and the right geographical reach to be able to cater for those clients. So they get into partnership with big companies. So you find a small audit firm in Kenya partnering, say, with BDO, or getting into partnership with KPMG, with Ernst & Young, so that they can have access to the bigger network reach, but also benefit from the brand, the brand outlook of that company. And also we get into partnerships to have a more vibrant and diverse local economy. What you are doing right now, you are contributing to the economy of your country in Zambia, but also you are improving your livelihoods. How do we move from just improving livelihoods to building the economy? Once you get into a partnership, this is what we call economies of scale. You're able to move your goods beyond just local consumption. You can take them to a bigger market. You're able to brand them and even add value in terms of where you want to get your products. I don't know if there's a question so far. Kindly interrupt me if you think I am too fast, or probably I have said something that you need me to clarify.
Okay.
Yeah, and then moving on in terms of benefits of partnership, there are many benefits of partnership, especially for small businesses, because as a small business, there are just so many challenges in terms of you wanting to increase your access to markets. How do I access the market as a poultry farmer? How do I access the big market where I can trade more? How do I access the big market as a charcoal distributor? How can I access the big market as a tailor? Where is the big market? Who can help me to access that big market? What do I need to get to that big market? So in terms of partnerships, you have to ask yourself, what do you want to get out of a partnership? Do you just want to access distribution channels? Do you want to partner so that you can inject more capital into your business? Do you want to partner so that you can access the buckets that ordinarily you can't access in the setup that you're in? So we have so many benefits of getting into a partnership. And when you get into a partnership, you lower your distribution cost, for example. So you can partner, say if you're in Lusaka and you want to move your product either to across the border or just another town outside of Lusaka, and you get a partner there who's able to stock your products and sell your products. That way you have lowered your distribution cost, because it means if you don't have that partner, you have to pay throughout the supply chain for your product to get to that other city. But a partnership takes this product, the way you have packaged it, they stock it and just sell it on your behalf. Another benefit of partnership is promoting a more vibrant and diverse local economy. And I think I have said that again and again. And then another reason would be to increase your customer base, because the minute you are a partner with another person, they have their own clients, you have your own clients, and you bring these clients together, you have increased your customer base, and that means you're moving your product to even bigger client base than you had if you didn't have the partnership. And also we get into partnerships to build markets for future, because we develop, you have to look at a product in terms of, are you creating the product out of demand, or you are creating the product to generate a demand that is not there? When you ask yourself these two questions, you will find that based on the demand, you're able to reach more markets. You're able to create a future product that didn't exist. And I can give you a very good example here in Nairobi. Many years ago, we used to have only Telkom Kenya. Telkom Kenya is a parastatal owned by the government. And if you needed to make a call, you either went to a booth, a yellow booth or a red booth, and you had to queue to make that call. And then a few years ago, Kenya licensed private sector mobile operators, and we got two of them. We got Airtel and we got Safaricom. And since the entry of Safaricom and Telkom, the landscape has really changed. So Safaricom is the business of the future, and Airtel is a business of the future. Why am I saying it's a business of the future? It wasn't there. It wasn't there maybe 15 years ago, but now we are living in very interesting times where I am seated here, my laptop is powered by Safaricom internet, my phone is powered by Safaricom internet. If I need to send my mom money, I don't need to leave my house. I just get into my phone and I have sent, within minutes, I have sent money to my mom. So partnerships really open up the world of business. They create markets don't exist right now, but they open up the space for new and future businesses. So as I prepared for this, I analyzed the kind of cohorts that I was speaking to, and I saw that some people, one person was in rice and dry fish business, another one was in tailoring, another one was in charcoal, another one was in bottle store, and the other one was in mobile bunny. And I kept thinking, what kind of possible partners can each person aspire to have or look for? And when I looked at the different businesses, I couldn't think of many partnerships, but I just came up with a few, because I thought, the person in rice and dry fish, what are your possible partners? Why are you looking for partnerships? And I would think probably you'd be looking for maybe a distribution kind of partnership. If you have the product, so how do you move your product? How do you push your product into the market? And I thought of a partnership. An example of a partnership would be schools. For example, we know schools, and I don't know whether it's a case in Zambia, but schools here in Kenya consume a lot of rice, for example, and fish, because it's an easy meal to make for students. So if you were to get up into a partnership with a school, what do you benefit out of it? For me, I think that one would be as a sort of a distribution type of a partnership, where you are moving your product to a place where first, the market is big, and second, you have almost a guaranteed access to the market, because schools are always procuring food for their students. I thought about the person in tailoring, and I asked myself, what kind of partnership can this person get into? And I couldn't think of I thought about EPZs. I don't know whether you have EPZs there, but here we have EPZs. And in these EPZs, they make products for export market. But lately, the government has passed a law that 30% of this product should actually be available for the local person. For me, that's an opportunity for this person in tailoring to get into that space of local market and really be able to make a product that meets the requirements of the local market. And how do you do that? You find that in the EPZ, and I don't know what you call them there, these are like special economic zones where government gives incentives for investors to come and put money to produce products that are meant for the export market. I don't know if, but I'm sure you have some in Zambia and probably in the tailoring space. And I thought of what kind of benefit this person in tailoring can get out of this. The other aspect is tailoring and schools. Again, colleges and factories. Schools are always buying uniform. Colleges are always buying uniform. Factories are always buying the kit, the safety kit in terms of aprons and all that. Those are, for me, those are good partners because they guarantee you a bigger market in terms of what crop you can, what product you can push in the market. I didn't find a very good example of a person in the charcoal business, but I also assume a lot of schools and colleges use charcoal. So that person can also get into the partnership of with schools and schools that use charcoal, but also last mile consumption, homesteads and community-based organizations. The other thing I thought, especially for the bottled store, I don't know whether they produce bottles. I didn't understand really what the offering is, but I couldn't think of anything better than the fast-moving consumer goods company like Coca-Cola. They're always buying raw materials, and that's one ideal partner in terms of who it is that you want to partner with to push your product to the market. And then the person in mobile money, I am sure you have mobile money through telcos. Either you have a private like MTN, the Safaricoms of Kenya and all that. Those are good partners in terms of wanting to push your product through them because they already have established channels, they have established networks. So when you plug into their system, you get to benefit more just beyond expansion, beyond getting to enter into a new market. You enjoy their supply chain processes because it's already established. I'm not sure whether this content is palatable for your kind of business, and you will forgive me because I didn't have a good background in terms of where these businesses are. But that said and done, from the space I have worked in, I have seen, and this is a new trend from the donor world, where they're issuing small grants for small businesses to either apply as a grant or as a loan, but mostly as a grant. Do you have access to this, or it's something I need to talk about? And probably maybe after this conversation, I can share with Barbara maybe a few links you can look at in terms of if you want to apply for such grants. And sometimes it's not just necessarily grant. Sometimes they also want to offer things like training and coaching, where you're able to just learn a few things. For example, I just graduated this January from a training that is run by FCDO, or rather UK Aid. It's called Future Females. And Future Females is actually a pure coaching, and you can please check it up. And if you want to apply, you can also apply maybe to get to learn. And in Future Females, what I learned the basics of setting up a startup, which is probably where you are. And setting up a startup, what do I need to do? What do I need to know in terms of the market, my product? How do I make sure that my product is viable? So some of those trainings have really helped me personally in my business, because I'm able to know how to structure, for example, the right partnership. Yeah, because and now maybe I can spend a few minutes talking about a few of my businesses. So you find that in the insurance sector, it's very straightforward, because we work with the underwriters, for example. And so I don't need to have a product myself, but I only need to get a product by the underwriter and modify it to the needs of the client. Yeah, and then present that. So that for me, it's very simple. When it comes to the water business, I am very new there, so probably I don't have enough lessons to share. But what I can say is that, for example, in the water business, I don't have to build my own distributorship. Yeah, I am now working with distributors in different regions who already have their distribution channels, and I'm using them to push my product. And that way, my costs I'm keeping my costs very minimal, because if I were to go and invest in a whole distribution channel, that would mean a lot of money. It will mean a lot of wins and losses for me, because it's not an area it's not my primary area of operation. My area of operation is water. How do I get this water to corporate clients? How do I get this water across? I am seated in Nairobi. I want my water to go to Mombasa. I want my water to go to Kisumu. I want my water to go to all the big cities in Kenya, but I don't want to invest in a distributorship channel. So I get into partnership with already existing distributors who are able to push my product at a very minimum cost. So in terms of partnerships, and Barbara, you can guide me. I have maybe a few links I can share with you in terms of just exploring what is available out there. And then for these small companies that are already heading towards profitability, what next? Yeah, because for startups, you have to keep growing. You cannot stay in one place and say, I am a startup, I only sell maize, and this is where I want to play. Where else do you want to grow to? And what is available for you in that other space? So you can access now funding. How do you access this kind of funding? How does your company need to look like? The profile of your company need to look like for you to be able to access funding. So now that is now my area of expertise, and I'm happy to share more, maybe not in this forum, but I can just do a follow-up email with some links to check up, with some connections to speak to in terms of moving your business now from a startup through partnership, through identifying the next level for your business. So I hope to stop there, and I'm happy to answer any questions. I'm happy to hear any comments. I hope I was not too fast. I hope the message got home. Thank you.
Okay, so I'll just go in briefly with them, at least some of everything, so that they can ask questions, or you can ask them questions. But Vina, utembele. Am I Kawata? Am I so so company partnership. Partnership sichintu chachilendo nachimbera patlisei and then batuza kuchaba pamanja ma details tezengana pali ubwino wa partnership ma partnership ya bwanja mini yanga yenderani naise ama business yatu njebe tezukamba paka tezomvera so na ma examples ya watu pasako ya kwao so watufunza kwa tina mafunzo yangu o watufunze kwa ma questions o ise na ma questions na vipi Zambia Zambia kusina mai Zambia oh consider my questions first you don't just understand okay as you can go ahead and ask questions they are ready for a lot of questions ask them
So maybe I can ask, so who do we have there? I have the names here. Do we have Hilda, Entia?
yeah
Okay, so
yes
I just wanted to understand from Entia. She says she deals with charcoal. So I wanted to understand who, for example, where she gets the charcoal from. Does she produce it herself or she buys from another person? And then who her primary market? Who does she sell the charcoal to? So that's my first question.
so kwanza ati kama timela shani muma enda kushoka mwindi wamenye maendo order and then ni kuchoma order and then muma kubisa kubantu bamwanji
Kutemabasha tumaendekeza che bantu bamwe baenda musanga baenda baoda batiretera ibintu kikajana bigurisa yota kuri ibere akatika kwenda kuyamwenda kwenda musanga neno soda bakapita ikari so ife bakaleta tena ngoti jua tipima tena ngo tinyamulisa masaka
okay so hi what's your name hi well,
Yeah, carry on.
so Echa, she's saying for now she doesn't go in the bush where they burn the charcoal. So they just order from people who go there, they bring in a truck and then they order from the truck. And then she sometimes sells the full bags and some she will prepackage them like into smaller, affordable plastics bags. She just sells to the local people who comes to the market to buy and the neighbors. So that's how she does the charcoal business.
Okay, thank you for that. I don't know what level of where she is at in terms of business, but I can also tell her of another product to think about. Maybe this is just a by the way. I don't know whether you have heard of briquettes, because I sit in two places, and the first place for me is sustainability. And sustainability also is in terms of, and I like that she's doing something, putting food on the table for the children. But Barbara, probably you can help her think through maybe briquettes. Yeah, briquettes, you can Google them. If you want, I can type it here. Because briquettes are known to, the production of briquettes does not hurt the environment. So I don't know what sustainability model you have built into the business. Maybe, I don't know if Morten has an idea whether there is a sustainability model in the business. But in terms of partnership, probably I know people who help small companies to get into the briquette business. probably because briquettes is just charcoal that is produced in a environmentally friendly way. And actually they burn longer than your normal charcoal. They don't have the bad smoke, because I would imagine people use that, have small children, and you don't have to have health hazards. So I have put the name there, and I'm happy to share maybe more info for you to just digest that and see whether it's something she can maybe do together with the charcoal, or maybe with time transition to briquettes. I don't know, but just that's just an idea that I had, because I know this is a big space to play in, and I am seeing a lot of donors funding this, because donors are becoming very clear in terms of sustainability, in terms of the environment. Are we producing products that are friendly to the environment? So that's just my comment on the charcoal business. And then I had a question to Antia, to Hilda, about tailoring. I just wanted to understand who are the end users for her product. Does she just does she do repair, or she does new products, and who buys? Who are her primary buyers of her products?
I understand. Akoze ati mumatunga katerera so kuri bacishaba bamatunga cyo bigamba oyimwe mumakula nyo mugira ulisa kubatira mumatunga babwanje mulisa vichani, in short matunga vichani, and then niwandani mamakula niwandani kama bana rajuzi naona watu and then but ni matunga ngati wakupasa order sintunga dali unga vitu ndeni basa and then jani tayari ni matunga mali jabana basuma ndina macheche na kulana basa order na cheche Okay. So she's saying for her she does like knitting and tailoring. So for knitting, she does school jerseys, which are bought by mostly schools and the mothers for their children, and that is done by when someone orders. So she doesn't sell and put them there, but she'll tell or she'll sew when you order. And the same as goes to the tailoring. On the tailoring part, she says she only does school uniforms and church uniforms, and all of those are done by order. So when you order, that's when she will be there to make for the customers.
Thank you very much. That's very good to hear. I think my last question would be to Barbara or Narine in terms of the businesses, or rather the cohort that you have. At what level are these businesses? Are they registered businesses, or they're at the really bottom of the pyramid? And do you graduate the cohort to, once they go through the program, to register the businesses, and what kind of support do you provide them?
Yeah. So like for these ones, this is when they are starting. So this one that they're going to get is their first ever. So it's just on the bottom. With time, as we go on with that's the more reason we have people to teach them, to coach them on different topics so that they can learn and know to say my business has to move from this level to the next level. And as the amount of the loan grows, even their business has to grow it has to change. If they didn't have the name, I think the time they'll be maybe receiving a 15,000 kwacha, like a 15,000 kwacha. Their business as now, maybe they will have a bank account. It has to be registered. They will know how to use different apps. Just that's the whole essence. So for now, this is their first time. This is when we're starting. Their business is just there on the portal.
How long does the program run for a cohort?
So for a startup, it will just take 2 months, and then they go to the next stage. So it depends with the amount. So the first amount they're getting, it will make them grow in 2 months. After 2 months, with another money will grow after 6 months, and then 6 months they will grow into another loan, which will grow into 8 months, then just like that. So it takes a bit of time.
That's good to hear. So in our office in Zambia, we are running a lot of programs that have SME and women and youth in mind. So probably I'll go look through our portfolio, and if I find one project that you can now interest those who have already graduated, it will really be nice, because most of the funding that we provide, or rather the technical assistance that we provide, they don't pay for it. Yeah, they don't pay for it. So I will look into our portfolio, and then I can share with Vanessa or whoever in terms of what we have that can be of benefit to your cohorts, the ones that are already in session and the ones that have already graduated. So I am very keen to follow the conversations, and I'm also happy to get invited again and again to speak to the ladies. And if I'm in Zambia, I will maybe pop in and say hi. And just get to see what you're doing. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sarah.
Yeah, but thank you for having me. I really appreciate. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak to you. And hopefully this is just but the beginning of greater and more impactful partnership. Thank you. I don't have much to say. I'm happy to answer any questions or to hear any comments.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Sarah. Thank you. That was insightful. And thank you for having the women in mind. I like what you're trying to bring in. And I will send you a mail after this so that we could communicate further, see how we can come into partnership. I know Adam will be really excited to hear this. So thank you very much. Just before we proceed, I think we can just take a group photo, and then afterwards, Morton, you'd say a few words of encouragement and close us in prayers. So could you turn on your video, Morton, so we can take our group photo? Okay, everyone just smile. All right, I'm going. All right, Martin. So I don't know if you have any words of encouragement for the ladies before you can close us in prayers.
You are muted, Morten.
Yeah. Sorry, it was very interesting to listen to the session, and it was insightful for me. This is a business that is very far from what I'm doing currently, living in Norway. That is a long way from where you are. But I'm so grateful that I was able to listen in and to more understand where going. And I hope that I can contribute more if anybody needs that. I have a lot of business experience, so let's see what we can do that going forward.
Mm-hmm.
So that's great, and then we can maybe close then. And I just want to close then in a small prayer for all of you. Dear Lord, I just want to give my blessings to these fine ladies, and I hope their business will be very successful going forward. We lay it in your hands, dear Lord, and give everybody the insight and understanding of how we can develop our businesses to be fruitful, not only for ourselves, but for our families and the communities that we are contributing in. And I want to thank you for this, for joining the journey and all the work they are doing. And if you can contribute together to make this really something important for all of us. So thank you, Lord, for all you are giving all of us and for your blessings. Thank you so much.
Amen.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
goodbye. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
having me.